Welcome to our episode from the Trending History. Today, we will delve into the exciting beginnings of the legendary Philippine airline company. From its humble commencement to becoming an icon of airlines in the beautiful island of the Philippines. This is the Philippine Airlines, the heart of the Filipino. On February 26, 1941, Philippine Airlines, the first and oldest commercial airline in Asia operating under its original name and the flag carrier of the Philippines, was founded by a group of businessmen with Andres Soriano Sr. at that time was also hailed as one of the Philippines' leading industrialists. Acquired the franchise of Philippine Aerial Taxi Company Incorporated and renamed Philippine Airlines. The Philippine Airlines, otherwise known as PAL, got its first flight with a twin engine in March 1941 with 5-seater Beech model Dash 18 aircraft. Took off from Nielsen Airfield in Makati with Baguio as its destination. It carried 2 pilots and half passengers on its maiden flight. The 5 passengers were the founders of the airline. In September 1941, the Philippine government's investment in PAL paved the way for nationalization, and in February 1946, after its services were interrupted during World War II, PAL resumed operations with service to 15 domestic points with 5 Douglas DC-3 aircraft. In July 1946, Philippine Airlines became the first Asian airline to cross the Pacific with a chartered Douglas DC-4. A regular service between Manila and San Francisco started in December of that year. In January 1974, Philippine Airlines became a monopoly in domestic air travel after President Ferdinand Marcos, by virtue of his powers under martial law and due to fuel crisis arising from a war in the Middle East, ordered the foreclosure of 2 other airlines, Filipinas Orient Airlines and Air Manila Incorporated. PAL was told to absorb the aircraft and staff of the 2 airlines. The iconic Philippine Airlines logo has gone under 4 incarnations in the entire length of its operations. The first logo incorporated a blue oval with PAL superimposed in white letters, a 4-pointed star whose points intersect behind the A in the PAL initials, and a wing whose position varied depending on the location of the 1952 logo. The second logo adopted a blue triangle and a red triangle superimposed upon it enclosed by a circle. The current PAL logo was designed by Landor Associates. It features the same 2 blue and red triangles used in the second and third logos. However, a yellow sun, reminiscent of the flag of the Philippines, was superimposed on top of the blue triangle, and a new Helvetica typeface was used. The choice of this symbol is a covenant to designers' dedication to excellence and the respect for the Philippine history, where the 8 sun rays symbolize the first 8 provinces in the Philippines that revolted against Spanish colonization. In 1940s, as commercial aviation in the country is in its infancy, people began to experience the convenience of air travel. A fledgling airline began its journey when war in the Pacific reached the shores of the country. December 7, 1941 to 1945, World War II blew up in the Philippines, and PAL had to stop commercial operations but continued serving the country when its fleet and crew were pressed into military service, becoming part of the USAFE, or the United States Army Forces in the Far East, a military formation of the United States Army active on these years. The Beechcraft fleet was used to transport American pilots to safety in Australia. After the war, PAL resumed its mandate of serving the country and rebuilt its network. The 1950s marked the beginning of PAL's golden age in the airline industry. PAL began star flights offering the world's lowest fares in scheduled services. Where plane travels are a luxury to most Filipinos, the company slowly made it available to most locals and to global travels.
Mabuhay! Welcome on board this Philippine Airlines flight.
Charlie Juliet Oscar from Balagpag.
In world's aviation aviation yesteryear on January 4, 1980, PAL is also historically in during the jumbo jet era. The jumbo jet Boeing 747 is a large, long-range, wide-body airliner designed and manufactured by Boeing Commercial Airplanes in the United States between 1968 and 2023. The conception of the 747 has become a legend and myth. In 1965, the two most